Hello Liverpool fans, a bit of a different video. Obviously we do a lot of transfer analysis, but this pre-season I want to analyse Liverpool's games. Just let me know after this video is finished if you would like me to continue, or do you prefer your own Liverpool creators doing it. I don't mind, I will listen to the feedback. But before I begin, if you are new here, please hit subscribe and the like as well, it'd be greatly appreciated. But the way I'm doing this is I've only just watched the first half. Like, I watched it all, and then when the second half finishes, I'll do the second part. So this is just based off the first half, and then obviously I'm going to add the second half when I do it as the game finishes. It will be all in this video. So we're going to start looking firstly at Lucas Stephenson. And I don't know a lot about Lucas Stephenson, but a lot of Liverpool fans have said he's quite a decent prospect, and this pre-season may be the pre-season where he shows what he's all about. Today he started at centre-half next to Joe Gomez, and I think it was quite impressive in terms of how authoritative he was, especially on the ball. He wanted to take the ball, he wanted to show some responsibility. I know it's just a pre-season game and you can't get a lot out of it, but Preston are quite an intense team in the Championship, and they were quite intense in this match as well in terms of their structure, in terms of their shape. I like the way Stephenson took time on the ball. He waited for sort of avenues to open up. You know, if we're looking at his stats in particular, he got 1 clearance, 1 interception, 97% pass accuracy, again showing that ability to be really comfortable on the ball. 39 touches, 1 out of 1 accurate long balls, 2 out of 1 out of 2 ground duels won, and 1 out of 1 aerial duels won. It was a very strong performance. I think towards the end Ipswich started to get into the game, and Stephenson obviously got that nasty little knock to his head. I assume he'll probably come off in the second half, but there was a lot to like, especially with Konate and the whole thing going on with him and his contract. It's nice to know that the Liverpool Academy has quite good youngsters there. Players like Stephenson who have come in and looked quite strong and able to sort of physically compete with the Preston players, because I think that was their strongest 11 that plays in the Championship, and he looked strong, he looked competitive, he didn't look like he sort of struggled against Osmajic, who's quite a physical centre forward for Preston. I like what I saw, and I'll be interested to see how he does further along in this pre-season journey. But I mean, my word, Rio Ngumoha was unreal. He was unreal. And this is a guy I'm going to go into a lot more depth about, because his performance in that first half was beautiful. 21 touches, 93% pass accuracy, 1 key pass, 2 out of 2 dribbles successful, 2 out of 3 ground duels won. Relentless. If I have to use one word to describe this kid whenever I've seen him play, relentless, fearless. I've even used 2 there. But those are the words. Once he gets that ball, he's on the front foot. He's straight away on the front foot. And I won't talk about Trey Nyoni, who's also very good. He had a decent game as well in that first half. Rio Ngumoha, some of the things I saw. Here's an example. Obviously, I can't show you the clips due to copyright, but he picks up the ball here. And I think we all remember what happens from this action. He picks the ball here. Look how much space is ahead of him. Many youngsters probably would just run to the byline and show a bit of immaturity and not attack the space properly. But look where this ends up. From that situation, receiving the ball far away from goal, here, Rio has turned it into a shooting opportunity, and he was very unlucky with the final finishing. That sort of carrying ability and release on the final shot is unreal. I think he's 16, 17 years old, so very young. That is so impressive. The sort of carry I saw here from Rio is very reminiscent of Luis Diaz in terms of picking the ball up from this area, attacking the space and cutting in and creating a shot. And there's a lot of talk about Liverpool signing a left winger. I was actually going to film a Rodrigo video in terms of their interest in him. But after watching Rio today, Liverpool, if they're patient, if they nurture him in the right way, have got themselves a top left winger. I genuinely really enjoyed his intensity and how he really went forward in this game. It wasn't just once here. There was many times he'd pick it up and just drive and create an opportunity. Teams have to use 2 players to stop him, which really does create space for other players to then, you know, work their magic. So imagine you got a Wirtz next to him. If Rio is attracting 2 defenders, Wirtz becomes free. He can have the ball and do his beautiful stuff. And obviously, the other thing I want to talk about in terms of this first half is Conor Bradley. Looking at that heat map, this guy picked up some very exciting positions. I was so excited seeing where he would pick the ball up. Here is one of them. So inverted, so inside the pitch, central. He's almost playing as a second striker. Only 2 players are higher than Conor Bradley in this sequence. And this is where I get really excited for Frimpong, who I think we'll see in the second half. And I'll probably talk about him at length in the second part of this video in the way I'm structuring it. But Conor Bradley picked up some beautiful positions. Here again, he was the highest player forward. Here was a lovely 1-2 between him and I don't know who. I think it was Szoboszlai. He Didn't manage to get onto the end of the ball, but that's what you want to be seeing, high and wide. And someone like Frimpong is certainly going to get the opportunity to do this for Liverpool when he starts, and probably in the second half when I analyse it. It was genuinely beautiful to see. Here again, here is another position in terms of, Conor Bradley picking up the being in a high space. Frimpong, you can even see him in this zone. It's so exciting imagining how Frimpong could operate. And this is not me saying Bradley can't do it, because he showed he can do it. The zones, he was very comfortable in these zones. And obviously for the goal as well, look where he was. Comfortable high in the final third. I think Frimpong is going to pick up some very high attacking positions, which Liverpool fans will be kind of shocked to see. But he will be comfortable because he's obviously played as a winger before. It is just very, very exciting. And of course, we'll end talking about Mamardashvili in that first half, because I think he'll come out very impressive as well in terms of coming for crosses, punching crosses away. There's a lovely ball he played over the top to Chiesa. If Chiesa hadn't been such an injury-prone player, I think if the pace he had from those years gone by, he would have gone in and scored. It was beautiful to see. He was comfortable on the ball, short passes as well. Comfortable debut from Mamardashvili. But anyway, let's get on to the second part and the second half analysis. And of course, the second part of the video. But before I continue on, obviously, massive respect to Liverpool Football Club. I forgot to put this in the first part of the video. Going out there, I know, this game is more towards Diogo Jota and paying tribute to him, and it was really strong in the Liverpool players to go out there and put a performance in like that. And if you feel offended by me making this analysis of video, I do apologise, and I will not do so in the future. But I just thought it was a nice sort of game to look at what Liverpool may look at. I know this is just a pre-season friendly, but there was a lot of good takeaways from the game. But let us, sort of continue with all the respect and condolences to Jota and his family. And this is the second 11 that Liverpool put out. You got Woodman, Endo, Núñez, Jones, Gakpo, Robertson, Doak, Kerkez, Frimpong, Nyalo and Kumas. I was really, really interested, of course, to see Frimpong, Kerkez, but also Ben Doak, a player I really, really like. Woodman obviously was bought from Preston, so it was nice to see him play against his old club. And Nyalo was a really, really interesting centre-half prospect that is really nice to look at. Obviously, we'll start with Darwin Núñez. Came on, scored a lovely assist as well, the dummy for Gakpo. And you can I just don't know, but I can't give up on Darwin. I genuinely can't give up on him. I think he's such a good centre forward with good fundamentals. And he's just a centre forward who's going to explode. And I know Liverpool are trying to get rid of him, and there's interest from abroad and stuff like that. But a case where Núñez stays and you maybe do getting an Ekatike is not a bad world whatsoever. Núñez is still got uses. If you look at his statistics over the last 2 years and you would say this guy's a flop, you'd be like, wow, the guy that scores this many goals is a flop. But that's just how it is. The stakes and the expectations are so high, as they should be for a team like Liverpool. It was really nice to see Núñez on the score sheet and giving his tribute to Diogo Jota was very, very beautiful, with of course his shark celebration and of course his sort of video game celebration too. But a player I want to talk about in detail is Milos Kerkez. I mean, what a player he is. What a performance from him. It wasn't much there, but, he's such a busy player. I think the funniest moment was this one where he was on the floor and he would actually put his head near the Preston play. You think, oh my word, you're going to get yourself seriously hurt. But that's what he is. He's full gone home. Doesn't matter if it's pre-season. He wants to make an impression. It was really beautiful to see him proper getting around there. And his statistics, obviously, 1 interception, 1 tackle, 100% pass accuracy, 1 out of 1 on long balls, and 2 out of 3 ground rules as well. Very impressive. 49 touches. Milos Kerkez really showed Liverpool fans, he's just going to slot in, do a fantastic job going forward defensively as well. This signing for 40 million is an absolute bargain. I'm just so jealous of Liverpool for being able to get him in. And you're looking at Jeremy Frimpong, not quite the same impact, but we saw his recovery pace so many times, him getting back, defending situations. This guy's not a useless defender. Lots of people have said that this guy is more than capable to defend really well. 2 out of 2 ground duels show that. 1 out of 2 aerial duels as well. 71% pass accuracy. Some good things in there from Frimpong. Getting the minutes in the tank. There were some really positives within both of those performances from Frimpong and Kerkez. And obviously, this is the lineup. Ben Doak impressed me, the tenacity to get that assist for the second Gakpo goal. It was really nice to see, to be honest. And he kept going because there was a lot of opportunities in the game where he could have the ball and make a run, but he'd miscontrol it. Your head can go down. You want to make an impression, but intensity got his reward. And you're looking at Ngumoha, you're looking at, Ben Doak, you're looking at Trey Nyoni, he was also really good. Stephenson too, who I talked about. Liverpool have got a great set of players to really push on from the academy and make an impact at first team level. But you know, massive respects to Jota, massive respects to Liverpool FC. A pre-season game which we were able to learn quite a bit, but obviously the occasion very much towards Diogo Jota, who will sorely be missed.